Hi everyone, my name is Andy Robertshaw. I'm going to go through Daily Killer Sudoku greater than puzzle number 28880. That's 28880. Somebody in the group has mentioned that they're stuck on this one, so I'm going to start from the beginning and go through it my way. So I've got a 4 there, which is 1 and 3, a 15 cage there, which is 6, 9 or 7, 8, and another one there, which will be the opposite combination. A 10 cage there, which must have even numbers, so 2, 8 or 4, 6. I've got a 13 cage there, 4, 9, 5, 8, 6, 7. In fact, this one is touching both 15 cages. So this can't be 6, 7, 8 or 9. That's only 4, 5. And this one needs to be 8 or 9 to go with it. That one is also touching all 4 of the 15 cages. So that's not 6 or 8. And so I've got 2, 4 and 6, 8 like that. In fact, I've got 6 or 8 there, 6 or 8 in that 15 cage. So that one isn't 6 or 8. That's not the 7 or 9 that would have gone with that. So I have got 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 1, 3. This one is 2, 4 or 5. I've got a 16 cage here, which is 7 or 9. Got a 13 gauge there, 4, 9, 5, 8, 6, 7. So maximum 7 there. So, because that's got to be less than 10. I'll put some values in here. 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6. I've got a hidden 6, 7, 8, 9 quad. So one of them was in the 10 cage. So anything else is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that row. Let's do this one. So again, I've got 1 and 3 there. So this 10 cage must be 2, 8 or 4, 6. I've got 1, 6, 2, 5 or 3, 4. Another 10, this seems to be a theme. I've got 10 cages which are 2, 8 or 4, 6, but I've got another one there. This 9 cage won't be 2, 7, so it'll be 1, 8, 3, 6 or 4, 5. That will be 11, 12 or 13. That one is a maximum of 10. I'm saying things as I see them. I don't know how useful they're going to be. But this one, maximum 9. It's less than 10, maximum 9. Nothing more than 6 can go in it. If I've got a 6 in there, I'd have to have 1 and 2 with it. But I can't have both the 6 and the 2 because it would take both options for that 10 cage. So no 6 there. I could have 5 and some combination. Okay. Alright, in fact, one of those must be a 5, so I'm not going to have a 5 over here. Let's put in some 11 cages, 2, 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, 5, 6, and we'll do the same there. So 2 different combinations add up to 11, and a 10 cage there, 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6. I can't eliminate anything from that one as yet. Right. I've got a 19 and a maximum of 9, so I've got maximum 28 between all those. So that means these are at least 17 more than that one. These 3 add up to at least 18. Right, so with that in mind, 1 there would be 9 there and 7, 8 there. That would just be 16, so can't have that. 2 there with 8 there and 7, 9. That's just about okay. Right, in fact, I'd need 1, 3, 5, 2 there. I'd need 8 there, 7, 9. I'll have 18 there. So that's tight. 18's on the minimum. So I'd have to have a 1 there and a 9 there. So I'd have to have 1, 3, 5 there. And 2, 8. So 2, 7, 9, 1, 3, 5. Um, 4, 6, 8. I'd have 4, 6 and 8 there. If I had 2 there, yeah, so I'll go through this once again. 19 plus 9 is 28. So maximum 28 there. So that means these are minimum 17 more than this. If I have 2 there, I've got 8 there and 7, 9 there. So that is 18. So that would have to be 1. So that means it would be exactly 17 more. This would be a 9. So 2, 1, 3, 5. And I'd need 4, 6, 8 there. And that would swallow both options for that 10 cage. So that's not a 2. That's not an 8. 3 there. 3, 7, 9, 8. I'm now on to 20 there. Okay, I'm not as worried about that. The inequality doesn't feel quite as tight. But in fact, the most I could have here is 24, isn't it? 7, 8, 9. So if this is 28, so this is at least 17 more than this. So the very most I could have here is a 7. I can't have a 7 there, so the most I could have there is a 6. Right. So must have 7s and 9s somewhere in this box. If I've got 6 there, I need 2, 8 there. I'm left with 4, 5 there, and a 1, 3 pair there. But I can't have 1 or 3 in that one because I've got 1, 3 there. So I'm not going to have a 6 there. If I've got 5 there, I must have 14 there without using 1 or 3. So 4, 5, 6 would be 15, too much. So I must have 2 and a total of 12. So 2, it has to be 2, 4, 8. So 5, 2, 4, 8, 1, 3, 5, 4, 7, 9. Yeah, so I can't have that, can I? So 5, which needs to go with 2, 4, 8, and 1, 3, 5 there. 4, 7, 9, 4, 7, 9, but then I need another 4 there to go with that 9. But I did have 4 there. 5, 2, 4, 8. Sorry, we'll start it again. 5, 2, 4, 8, 1, 3, 5. It'll be 6, 7, 9. 6, 7, 9. But yes, I need a 4 there and a 4 there. So 5, 2, 4, 8, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 4 there and 4 there. So can't have a 5 there. Right, 4 there, 2, 8, 3, 6. One and 5. Have to have 5 there and 1 there because I've got a 1 there. So 4, 5, 1. Need a total of 10 here, which would be 2 and 8. 4, 5, 2, 8. 1, 9, 7. That seems to work okay. Right, I won't go any further down that one for now. In fact, that is a maximum 13. So maximum 13, maximum 9, maximum 10. That's maximum 32. So minimum 13 between those two. So minimum of 4 to go with whatever we got here. To go with 9, if that's what it is. Right. Right. So still thinking. So this is a maximum of 8. So that's maximum of 9. This is a maximum of 8. So nothing more than 7 could go into that cage. Oh. This one keeps jumping out at me. I must have a 1 in there. Because the 1 can't go in the top row because of the 3 there. Not 1. I could have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 1, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 5. If I don't have a 3 there, I need a 3 there. So actually 1, 2 and not 3 would be 1, 2, 5 there. So the only way not to have a 3 is to have 1, 2, 5 there. So that's 3, 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 8. So 7, 9, 8, 1, 2, 5. I'm left with 3, 4, 6 there. Not 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, 8. One, 2, 4, 3, 9, 8, 5, 6, 7. So if I don't have a 3, that's a 3, that's 5, 6, 7. So 5, 6, 7, 2, 8, 9, 4, 9, 1. 5, 6, 7, 2, 8, 4, 9, 6. Okay, yeah, that's... I can't rule that one out. Yeah, so options with a 3 there. So maximum of 8 in that 11 cage. Maximum of 10 there. Could have any values though. Right. In fact, I must have 7 or 9 here. In fact, 2 of 7, 8 or 9 there. Without a big one here, the most I could have is 4, 5, 6 for 15. So 4, 5, 6, I would need I can't have a 4 there. I'd need something bigger, not smaller, to go with it. So basically, the only chance of 15 I've got without using 7, 8 or 9 there is to have 15 with 4, 5, 6, which would need another 4 there. That's not possible, so I do need a big one there. I do need a 7, 8 or 9 there. So I'm not going to have a 7, 8 or 9 here. Right. But I'm only having one of 7, 8 or 9 there. I've got one of them there. I must have another 1 on the top row of this one. Right, so... Well, does that help? Does the fact I've got 1 of 7, 8 or 9 help with this at all? So if I've got 9 there, I've got 7, 8, 7 there. Got to have a total of 10 between those. Right, so 7, 8, 5. If I've got 8 there, I've got 8, I've got 9, 7, 4 there. If I've got 8 on that top row, 9 there, and 7 there, and 4 there. So that means I've got a 4 and a 7 there, and I've taken up both options for that 10 cage. So I couldn't have an 8 there. I know the 8 must be therefore be on the top row of this box. So this one isn't an 8. What happens if I try a 7 there? So 7, 9, 6. I don't know if that's of any consequence, but 9, 8, 5. And a 9 there. 9, 8, 5. I've got quite a few options. In fact, I know I don't have an 8 there. I've got either 7 or 9 there. I've got 7 or 9 there. I don't have 7 or 9 here, or the 6 or 4 that would have gone with it. In fact, yeah, I can see something helpful now. 7 or 9 there, 7 or 9 there. That's a pair. This one's an 8, that one's a 5. Right, so that's not an 8, that's not a 2. Okay. So I've either got an 8-2 or an 8-1. That's the only place I could have an 8 in those column, in that column. Right, can I see anything else? There's got to be something there. I must have a 9 somewhere in that row, so not a 9 here, and not the 6 that would have gone with it. So 9 there, and well, that could be as much as 13, that could be as much as 12. But 10, if I take maximums, 10, 9, 13, that's 32. So maximum 32, minimum 13 there. So I need something more than a 4 there to go with that to make up 13. Right, so... So 4 there, 2, 8, 3, 6, 7, 9, 5, 1. So 4, 5, 1. I need 2. I come unstuck there, don't I? 4, 2, 8, 3, 6. Got a 1 there, so 5, 1. I need a total of 10 there. It's not 4, 6. It's not 2, 8. It's not 1, 9. It's not 3, 7. So I can't have a 4 there. What happens if I try a 3 there? So total of 16. total of 16 there. In fact, let's look at the sum of these two. So 16, 20, 30. So I need 6 or 8 there. So we've got 3 there. I've got a hidden 6, 8 pair there. So I've got to have a total of 16 without using 1, 3, 6 or 8. So I could have 4, 5, 7 or 2, 5, 9. If I've got a 2 there, that's 17. I've got to have a total of 14 there, which would have to be 5, 9. So 2, 5, 9, 4, 6, 1, 8, 2, 4, 6, 1, 8, 7, 9, 5, 3. So 2 and 5 there, which is 7. I need 4 and 8 there. Yeah, so that's the problem. 2, 4, 6, 1, 8, 7, 9. So I'm left with 5 and 3 there, but got 3 there. So 3 there, 5 there. 2 and 5. I need a total of 12 here. I can't have 4 and 8 because it would take both options for that 10 cage. And I can't have 3 and 9 because of that 4 cage. And I've also already got a 5 within. So can't have a 2 there. Right, what happens if we try a 1 there? So I've narrowed this down from lots of things to just 1 and 3. If I've got a 1 there, so I know this one isn't 1 and 8. I said that top or bottom must have the 8. So 1 there must give me 2, 8 there. So 4, 5 or 3, 6. But I've got a total of 18 there. So 18 and 10 and 4 is 32. I need 13 there, which could be 9, 4 or 6, 7. So 4 or 6 go there. So that'll be 2 and 8. So 1 there for 2, 8 there. Right, let's just hold that a second. 1 there would give me 2 and 8 there. 3 there would give me so that was a total of 16. So 6, 8, sorry, 8, 7 or 6, 9. I had 2 choices with the 3. Okay, well that's still a big improvement on where we were. Let's just put in all the options. So I know I've got 7 or 9 there, but not with 1, 3 or 8. So 2, 4, 5, 6. One there with a total of 18 there. So I'd have 2, 8 there. Yeah, anyway, that's lots of options. I'm not going to go into that any further just yet. I've got an 8 in that row, so 7 or 9 there. So 7, 9 pair there, 6, 8 pair there. So that one isn't a 6. So I must have both a 7 and a 9 on that middle row of that box. Yeah, the 7's no place for a 7 in that row. So that's, in fact, that's not a 7 there. That 10 cage is 4 and 6. So that's a 2. That 10 cage is 4, 6. That's 8 and 7. So that one's a 9 and a 7. So no 9's there. So this is 9 and 6. So that isn't 1 and 6. It's also not 2 and 5. So no 6 there, no 5 there. No 7 there. I can't have... So 2's a small number. I need this to be bigger than this. Suppose I could have 3 there and 1, 2 there, but nothing less than 3 can go there, and not 6. That 10 cage isn't 3, 7. Not 4 there, not 6 there, not 9 there, not 1 there. Not 6 there, not 4 there. So I've got 2 and 9 as my candidates for that one. This 11 cage won't be 2 and 9. So I can't have a 4 there. I've got to have something less than 10. So what could... Must have the 1. 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5. Right. I'm spoilt for choice there. I've got 4 and 6. Can't have 2s or 4s there. I've got 1 and 3 there. Right. What else can I do? Can't have 7 and 4 in this 11 cage. Not a 7 there because I've got one there. So this is a maximum of 7. This is therefore a maximum of 6, so it can't contain a 6. It also won't contain a 5, because if that's 5 and 1 is 6, then I need that to be 7. I can't have another 5 there. But I've just done the wrong thing. It should have been that one that's not a 5. So a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad. I've got 5, 6, 9. In fact, that's the only place for a 6. And those two must be 5 and 9 between them. So no 5 there, no 2 there. So 3, 4 there. So not 3, 4 there, not 5, 6 there. Not 3, 4 there, not 7, 8 there. Not 3, 4 there. Not a 6 there, not a 4 there. Right. Let's do this column. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Not a 3 there. 1, 2, 7 or 8 there. But I've got a 3 as one of those. In fact, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So 1, 2, 7, 8 between those. But not 2 because I've got it in the column. So there, 1, 7, 8. I've got a 2 there. I've not got a 2 there. Yeah, so it must have a 2 as one of those. Right. So what can I still have there? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9. But I can eliminate some of this. I've got 1 and 3 there, so they're not 1 and 3. So 2, 5, 7, 9, and it must be less than 13. And greater than that one. So if I've got 5, I suppose I could have 5, 7. In fact, I've got to be careful on this one. So I know those 3 add up to 16 or 18 with a 1 or 3 there. So adding to 17, I've got 33 or 35. So these 4 are 10 or 12. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 6. So they do contain 1 and 2. Whatever happens, I must have 1 and 2 within those. So they add up to 10 or 12 between them. So must have 1 and 2. 1 and 2 in there. So I can't have a 2 there. I've got a 5, 7, 9 triple there. So that's not a 5. That's not the 8 that would have gone with it. But this is less than 13. So that means that must be 5 and 7, and this must be a 9. But, sorry, that was less than or equal to 13. This is strictly less than the 12 that that one is. So I must have 1 there and 3 there. So I've got a 10 pair there. I've got 4 and 6 there, so this has to be 2 and 8. And that's not 8, that's 4, 6, that's not 5. So 4, 6 there, that one's not 6, that's not the 5 that would have gone with it. So 4s and 6s can go from these as well. So no 2 there. No 5 there. I now know I've got 1, 2, 3 here. So I've got 1 there with 18, 35, 41 and 4 there, or 3 with 16, 33, 39 and 6 there. So this is basically 3 more than that one. What could I have? Anything I've got a 7 there. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to look at this middle column now. 4, 6, 5, 1, 8, 3, 2, or 2, 8, a 1, 3 pair for 4, 5. So 2, 8 for 4, 5, or 4, 6 for 1, 8. So 4, 5 or 1, 8. So the 9 cage isn't going to be 3 and 6. So 4s and 8s, I've got one of them there and one of them there. So that's not a 4 or an 8. Right. Anything else? So that one is 11, 12 or 13. Must have a 3 as one of those, so I don't have a 3 there. So of one, I've got to have a 2 there. Yeah, so I've got a 3 between those and a 1 and a 4 to go. 1 and 4, 1 or 4 to go with them. So is there a potential deadly pattern here? No. Right. Let's forget that idea. All right, so still looking around. Maximum 10 there, maximum 13 there. So that's 23. That's 34. So those 3 must be at least 11 more than that one. I've got a couple of equal cages there. Well, let's have a look at what we might have. If I've got 4 there, that's 7. So I could have 2 and 5 there. If I've got 5 there, that's 8. So not 1, 7, not 5, 3. So 2, 6. If I've got 6 there, it's 9. So not 1, 8 or 6, 3. I could have 4, 5 or 2 and 7 that way round, because I've already got a 7 there. Can't have a 7 there. If I've got 8 there, I want 11 there, which is not 8, 3 or 2, 9. So 4, 7 or 5, 6. And with 9 there, I've got 12, which is not 9, 3. But it could be 5 and 7 or 4 and 8. Either way round. In fact, we couldn't have an 8 on the top. 9 there would give 2, 8. So the 8 would have to go on the bottom. But it does mean that the 1 has to be on the top row of that one. So this isn't a 1. Right, is there anything else we can do on this row? If I got 3, 8 there, 3, 8, 9, 1. 3, 8, 9, 1. I've got 2 and 4 there, so must have 5. So I've either got 3, 8 or 5, 6 there. If I've got 3, 8, I must have 9, 1, 2, 4, which is 6. So that would have to be 5 to make this one more than this one. So 5's either in here or there. So no 5's there. So let's go back again. 3, 8, 5, 9, 1. I've got 2, 4 and 6 between the 3 of those. So with 3 and 8, I've got to have a 6 there and a 2 or a 4 to go with it. So with 3, 8, if I got 4 there, I'd need 6 and 1, which is not possible. So 3, 8, I need 6 there. So with 3 and 8, I need 6 there. So that's not going to be a 6. 3, 8, 6, 2, 7 or 4, 5. Right. So remember I said 6 with 3 and 8 there. With 5 and 6, I've got no 5 there. So that's 2, 3 or 2, 4. 5 or 6 for that one. So not 6 there. I need a 1 there. So 5, 6, 1, 8, 2. So in fact, if I've got 5, 6 there, I need an 8 there. So that one's not an 8. 5, 6, 1, 8. Sorry, 5, 6, 1, 8, 2, 4. 5, 6, 1, 8, 2, 4, 3, 9. So 5, 6 with 4 and 8. I'll clear this out and fill it in. 5, 6 with 4 and 8. Or 3, 8. 1, 9. 6. 2, it was 2, 7 or 4, 5. Sorry, yeah, 2, 7 or 4, 5 for 9 there. Right. So 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4 hidden triple. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So no 4 there. No 4 there. Right. So the 1 must be on the top row of this box. I don't have a 1 in any of those. So 5, 6, 9, 2, 8, 4, 1, 5, and 4, 8 there. Or 3, 8, 1, 9, 6, 5. Right. Okay, well that's something else at least. Okay. In fact, what I am seeing now, I've got to have... Oh, I thought I was seeing some... Yes, I am seeing... I've got an X-wing. I've got 3s in each of those. So that can't be a 3. That's got to be a 5. So that 11 kg is 3 and 8. So the 10 kg is 1, 9. So that is 2, 4. So 3, 4, 1, 3. A 2, 4 pair there, but 6 there. So 5, 7 there. The 1 goes to 2, 7, 8. 2, 3, 7, 8 in that column. Must have a 3 there. So 7 and 8 along with 9. Right, so 2... yeah, so maximum 10 there. Must have a 4 in one of those. No, actually, I could have a 4 there. Right, so let's forget that. Right. Looking at this column, the only place I have for a 9 there is inside that 11 cage. So that one's a 2 and 9. So that's not a 2. That's not a 2. Right, so is that helpful? So 6 must go in the middle row of that box. Right. Yeah, just looking to see if there's anything else. There's got to be. Got to be something somewhere. Must have a 6 as, in fact, one of those two. In fact, there is something there. Must have a 3 in as one of those. I can't have a 3 there, so that's a 1. So that's not a 1. So minimum 3 there, maximum 8 between those two, not an 8 there. So the 8 must be one of those 3 in the lowest box of that column. 260. Five. So 8 there for 1, 2 there. Yeah, so if I've got 8, I could have 8 there, but if I've got 8 in the other place, it might go. I've got 8, 1 and 3 there. So that's not going to be a 3. So that makes those a maximum of 7. So there's no 7 there. 8, 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 6, 2, 3, 5. There isn't a pair that adds up to 6 to go with it. And 4, 5, 2. Right, so... There's got to be something for us here. Yeah, I'm just playing through this and trying to follow through all the permutations. If I've got 1, 8 there, must have 3 there, so must have 4, 4, 5, 7, and 6 there, and 7 there. Four, 5. I've got a 6 on the top row already, so 4, 6, 4, 9. So if I've got a 6 on the top row of that, it must be that one. So I can't have a 6 either side there. Right, 4, 5, 6. Well, I keep finding small things to get us a bit further, but I'm not making the breakthrough as things are, unfortunately. 4, 6, 8, 2. So this is greater than 10, less than or equal to 13. Can't contain a 1 to be greater than 10. Can't contain a 2. 2A to be a deadly pattern. 2, 9 would take up both options for that. So nothing less than 3 here, and no 6 there. So 3, and if I've got 3, 8 there, I've got 1, 7, 9, 2, 5, 4. I can't have 3, 8 because I'd have 1 there and 4 there, and I'd take up both options for the 9 cage. Could I have 3, 9? So 3, 9, 7, 1, 8, 5. If we've got 3, 9 again, whether we've got 3, 8 or 3, 9, I need a 4 there. I'd have 1 and 4 there, which would take up both options for that 9 cage. So no 3 there. So the 3 must be one of these two in that one. What about having a 4 there? So 4, 7, 4, 7, 9, 2, 5. I'm left with 1, 3 and 8. That looks potentially okay. For 8, yeah, that looks okay. 4, 4, 9, 7, 5, 2. Having a 4 there looks potentially quite good. Looks okay. If I've got 5, if I've got 5 there, must have 9 there and 2 there and 7 there. So it must be 5 with 8. And 1 there and 3, 4 there. So it looks like I do have 4 or 5 there. 1 large, 1 small out of those. Right. So the 6 must be one of those two. Right. Something's got to give, surely. 6, 2, 3. Yeah, just thinking out loud now. 4, 2, 5. 4, 2, 5. 7, 9, 4, 6, 4. So if we've got a 4 there and follow this around, 2, 5, 7, 9, 4, 6, 4. Need another 4 there, can't have that. So I've got 6, 7, 8 there. I can no longer have a 5 in that 11 cage. So 8, 1, 2, 7, 1, 3, 6, 2, 3. Two small numbers there, basically. Right. Yeah, I'm struggling with any of this stuff. 8, 3, 8, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 6, 9, 4. Well, what I am seeing, if I don't have a 4 there, I've got to have a 4 there and 1, 8 there and 3 there. Yeah, so that's getting complicated. Right. So these can't be 1, 2, 7, 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, but not a 6 in the lower one of the two. Must have a 3 as one of those. So, right. Nine there will give 7 and 8 there and 2 there. With 4 or 5 there and 4 or 5 there. So 1, 8 there, 3 there. Five there, four there, along with 7, 8 or 9. Okay, so yeah, still struggling with it, but I'm determined I'll get there. It feels like one more thing and it's gone. So I can't have a 9 there. In fact, that's it. I can't have a 9 in that cage because it's got to be less than 11. I'd have to have a 1 with it, and I can't have 9, 1 there. Can't have a 9 there. My only place for a 9 in the top row is that one. So I do have a 5 there and a 4 there. So 4 with 7, 8 or 9. Right. Well, I was getting close to getting excited, but I'm not sure what's next. What can I have here then? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Not 2. 1, 3, 4, 7. Because I've got a 2 2 in that 11 cage. So that's 2. So now I've got a 4 in that one. Could I have an 8 in that cage? So 8 would have to go with 1 or 2. And I'd have to have a 3 there. So 8 with 1 or 2, 7 with 1 or 2, and 3. So I'd be left with 4, 5, 6 there. So I'd have to have a 6 there and a 4, 5 there, which would not honour the 9 cage. So there's no 8 in that one. Could I have a 7 there? So 7 there will give me 9, 4, 8. Along with 1, 2, 3. So 7 with 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. I'd have the same problem again. If I've got a 7 there, I'd need 4 and 5 in those two. So no 7s, 8s, 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the most I could have. Even if I've got a 6 there, I've got the same problem again. I've got a 4, 5 there in the 9 cage. So no 6 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 4 there that definitely contain 1. I can't have a 4 there. I've got a 4 there. So 1, 2, 3, 5 quad there, along with a 4. I've got 6, 7, 8, 9 between those. Not 6 there. That's the only place for a 6 in that box. Need a 6 on the top. I'm not sure which one there. But 5 with 1, 2 or 3. Any of those could work. Right, so but I must have the 4 here or here. So this, yeah, I knew that one wasn't a 4. Known that for a while. Yeah, so 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. So I've got 5, 1, 3, 6. Five, 2, 1, 3, 7. So 5, 2, 7, 8, 1, 4. 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. Right. Not happening. Oh dear. Right. Yeah. So it's still not a 9 there because I've got one there. So I've satisfied these inequalities now, so I've not got to worry about those anymore. In fact, I think I've satisfied all the inequalities in the puzzle with the candidates I put in. Right. Two, 7, 8, 4. Not a 1 there. 2, 7, 8, 4. 3 or 5 there. Or 4, 5. Right. There's still too many options. 8, 2 for 3 there. So I've got 4, 5, 6 to choose from there, and 7 there. 4, 6 for 5 there. So I've either got a 5 there or a 7 there. So I know that one can't be a 5. So that means my 5 must be one of those. My 5 isn't one of those. So my 5 in this column must be that one. So 5 and 7 that way round. No 7s there. My 7 must be on the bottom row of that box then. That's not a 7. I've now got a 1, 3 pair there, making this 9 cage 4 and 5. That one a 6. That one's a 4. That's a 6, a 4, a 9, a 2, a 9. I've got my 1 in that row. I've got my 9 in that row. So 1, 3, I've got 6, I've got an 8 there, so this one must be my 8. And 6 and 7 there, and 1, 2 there. 1s and 2s can go, so 3, 5. Got 9 there, so that's 8. 4, 7, and 8 there, and 2, 7 there, and that's going to be a 1. So I've got an 8 there, that's 7, 9. Okay, so that's got us on somewhat. So I've got a 4 in that row, so 7, 4, 7, 5. I've got a 4 there, I've got an 8 there, so that's 3 and 8, 5, 6. So that 10 is 2 and 8, and 3, 2, 1, 3. What have I got? So that one I got 1 and 4. Right, we must be close now. So I've got 3 and 7 left for that one, so that's not a 7. So that one's 5 and 4, and 3 and 5, and 2 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Not got a 2 in that column yet. So 8, 3, 7, 9. So what have I still got here? 1 and 9, but I've got a 9 on the bottom already. So 4, what? I've got a 2 in that row, so that's that one. I've got a 1 in the top row, and that's a 6, that's a 7. Phew, okay, well, thank you for watching. We made it in the end. That was a very tricky one. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.